You've obviously got your distiller, and then there should be some cleaner, 6 activated charcoal sachets, and the power lead. And you should also have, of course, the instruction manual. So looking at the distiller, if you take the top off, first of all you've got to unplug the power lead here, lift the top off, and then you'll find the collection jug inside the actual distiller. Sometimes you will find the cleaner might be in here as well, but in this instance it isn't. So the collection jug needs a slight bit of assembly. Basically take out the handle and just slide it on very simply like that. That's your plastic collection jug assembled. The glass collection jug does need slightly more assembly, but not a great deal more. There are some kind of bands that go around that hold the handle on. Next up is how to use the distiller. So what you'll find is on the inside, if you look around, you'll see the word full with a line just below that word. So you fill it up to the line that's just below the word full with ordinary tap water. Now normally a distillation can take sort of 4 to 6 hours, but you can, if you want to reduce the time, you can actually start with hot water. So if you just use hot water from a tap, you'll probably take about half an hour to 45 minutes off your distillation time. So once it's filled with water, you simply put the top on, plug that in. Now previously as well, I'm going to have to take this is the carbon filter housing. You take this and you need to put a little filter inside it. So I've got one of the filters here. Get it out of the filter box. They're like a little kind of tea bag. The thing to do is just to get the carbon fairly flat, like that. Then put a little kind of fold in it, so it's like a V, and then just drop that into the filter housing like so. And then to attach it, it's going in like that with the nozzle here on the outside. The best way is just to literally hoof it on like that. If you need to take it off ever, and we recommend that you use about if you're using 1 or 2 distillations a day, that you actually replace this about once a month. You simply hold it like that and bend it out like that. So I'll just demonstrate that again, because that's sometimes people get a bit confused with that. Simply hold the housing and twist it and break it away. That's the way to bring it out. So once that's in place there, you then get the collection jug. All you have to do now is turn it on, which just means pressing the button here. Now once you hear the fan start moving here, then the distiller is working and it will turn itself off automatically. Also you'll find it will leave a slight amount of moisture in the bottom of the distiller. That's just so that it makes it easier to clean, because if it dried it out completely, then it's much harder to remove any kind of hard caked on scale. Now the cleaner, what you're meant to do is, again, it's got instructions on it, but you take a couple of tablespoons of cleaner and you put it in the distiller with some water, and then you just turn it on and let it heat up. But make sure you kind of watch it. You just don't want it kind of bubbling away, but just leave it on for a couple of hours, and that will clean out any of the kind of the residue in there. I would also say you can actually kind of save money on cleaner if after each distillation, if you get one of those kind of non-stick scourers, not a regular scourer, non-stick scourer is what you want, and just give it a kind of a clean round, just physically, just to remove any of the sort of scale and nasties that are in there, you'll actually you'll save a lot on cleaner. The other thing is, it's very important that you do keep it clean. If distillers fail, it's often because people haven't actually cleaned it very often. So people, sometimes they ring up and the distiller's problem, but actually we get it and there's kind of a half an inch of scale build up in the bottom, and it's the heater can't operate in that environment. The other thing to be aware of is that there's enough air around the top of the distiller. We usually kind of ask people to have about sort of 30 centimetres or a foot above the distiller and kind of around it. If sometimes people want to put it underneath a kind of a sink in a tiny little cupboard, that doesn't really work, and that can lead to the motor here burning out. So you need lots of air around the distiller.